Hello, and welcome to day two of our session. This one might be just a little bit longer than the last one. So, we get into what it is that this program has to offer, or in this case, what it's called. It's called the College Finance Packet. What is it? The College Finance Packet is designed to help make financing colleges easy and as simple as possible. In fact, it is exactly as it sounds. It's a packet filled with financial information on ways to finance college. The packet would be given to students with a list of options once he or she completes the college application and have been accepted. Most importantly, the packet would be specifically designed for the student. Now, you're probably wondering what the stats on the right side of the screen is. The stat is there just as a reminder that again, finance plays a major role in how a student or where a student chooses to go to school and why it is important to use the college finance packet. The Apollo Research Institute found that one of the major reasons why students tend to drop out of school or stop attending for a little is anxiety and stress over college related expenses. Expenses is just another term for it costs too much and they have to stop until they are able to actually finance their career. Now, that may take some time. That means that's one less student that the institution is retaining. So, what do? We start by using the financial packet. And how do we do that? We look at college applications and we look at college essays. These are the two major tools that we will be using to create the financial packet. Who creates the packet? Technically, or most importantly, the financial aid department will create the packet. The financial aid department is given the application off of the college essay and the college application in order to locate alternative free source of funding and provide it to the student in the financial packet. As a side note, an institution can create its own scholarship database later, or just a database that provides information such as discounts, free funding, and other free funding sources where its financial aid staff can go specifically and pull information to apply to each packet. This can be done. I have not yet developed a database for this, but I am in the process of doing so. There are rules and guidelines to this program. Now, a lot of financial aid advisors are probably looking at this right now and going, well, that's a lot. Not quite. Financial aid advisors can only provide 3 to 5 alternative free funding sources. They don't have to do all 5. You could do 2, you could do 3 and stop there, or you could choose to do all 5. And then after that, the student basically will need to apply for or look up the information on their own. You're simply providing them with the resource. You're letting them know, well, your employer does offer tuition reimbursement, and you tell them, speak with your employer as to how that would work out. Financial aid advisors are only required to do this for first year students. That means it's a little bit less than helping an entire population of students who are in fact using financial aid. Institutions can help their entire student body population using financial aid if they choose to do so by providing an informational session that would train students that are already enrolled how to look for scholarship and other funding sources, because they may need a little bit more information, and it's one way to continue to retain your adult student population. The student's responsibility. The students are responsible for applying for scholarships themselves, finding out the deadline, meeting those deadlines. Students will speak with his or her employer, as I stated earlier, in regards to tuition reimbursement and how it works. Students can look at scholarships within their own community. So there are a lot of scholarships out there. Just remind your students to look beyond what you've given them. Note, institution will not take on all responsibilities for locating additional funding for students. Again, students will need to look on their own. In fact, one of the value or the outcome I hope students take from this program is to be responsible for financing their education over time. The college application process. Most college application have little information here and there as to what you would be looking for. Basically, this is what you'd be looking for. This is your typical or your average college admissions, such as what you self-identify. This is going to take a little bit. Basic things that we are looking at. We're just going to look at the basics. In regards to the information that would essentially be pulled and applied to the packet. It could be your address, for instance, because depending on whichever state or states have limitation as to what type of grants they would give to the student, depending on which school they're going to. Later, once the presentation is if it's a community college, such as this one, colleges within their students' scholarships or grants within their own state. Moving along. For example, let's say a student is attending this institution. Her name is Jane Smith. She's about 30 years old. On her college application, Jane reports that she was born in Jamaica and is now a U.S. citizen. Her college admissions counselor receives her application and provides the information to the financial aid advisor. The financial aid advisor then does a little research in regards to locating scholarships to offer to the students in her financial packet. So at this point, the financial aid advisor is building the packet. And to do so, he or she starts looking at information to give to the student. Note, if a student is of West Indian descent, there are organizations across the U.S. that offer scholarships to students who meet certain requirements. The essay. College essay. College essays are a great way to get to know a student for academic purposes, but it can also be very helpful for financial aid purposes or for finance purposes. A great example is for students who say they write about their favorite artist, a musician, actress, actors, whoever it is. Those actors or actresses or musicians do offer scholarships to their fans. Artists include Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. They each offer their own scholarships. In fact, Beyonce has several different scholarships available to students. Another example is Nicki Minaj, who, as recent as in 2017, essentially helped students paid off their college debt and helped with college textbook expenses. These are the resources that are out there to students. They just don't know about it, and it's your job as financial aid advisors to essentially pass this information along to the student. Again, it seems like a lot, but it will help the student in the long run and in turn help the institution retain that student. The financial aid myths. We just want to talk a little bit about financial aid. You want to let students know that you are there for them, and the first step in doing so is the orientations. Let students know who they will be working with. It's usually best to have a Spanish-speaking financial aid advisor on site. It's not required. It is optional, but it tends to help those Spanish-speaking students who maybe need a little bit of extra help and they need it with an actual person that is of Spanish-speaking descent. This video is again in the PowerPoint, which you can see later on. Institutional scholarships. These are just a few ideas that institutions can look at to determine to help their students from an institutional standpoint.